here on the HN Network live every Tuesday with a motivational talk show called The Drive. The Drive seeks to bring people, places, ideas, and organizations together that move us forward mindfully and consciously. If we help you move out of your comfort zone, help you get back into it, maybe shift the way you look at things, then we've done our job. And we're so thankful that we get to spend this hour with you every Tuesday. If you like it, please share it. And if you'd like to tweet a question, tweet me at Denise DiGrigoli or HAN Network CT. We always start the show with a mindful minute, and I wanted to talk today about how our perception colors everything, good, bad, and indifferent. Last week, we had a rerun, if you noticed, because I had come down with the flu and bronchitis, and it was really driving me nuts. I was sitting home, not being able to function at the level I like to function, and my perception started to wilt. That motivational talk show host was sitting on her couch wondering, why do I do this? Is it really worth it? It doesn't make any sense. So here's the reality. Even those of us that are in positive motivation have those off days too. So if you got my email this morning, you saw that classic image of the old lady or the young lady. And I thought, geez, let's talk about how perception colors everything. On any given day, you might see the young lady first. You might see the old lady. Why? Maybe because today you're not feeling great. Or maybe you are feeling great. I noticed when I looked at it today, I saw the young lady first. Had you showed it to me last Tuesday, I would have seen probably the old gnarly lady. So the way you see and feel your life today is through the filters of your beliefs, your experience, and of course your patterns. If you're feeling up, like I said, you see the young lady, and if you're feeling out of sorts, you probably see the old lady. Some perspectives are conscious and others are unconscious. These perceptions or beliefs are energetic magnets that move into a field of life and our everyday living. Our perceptions, our personal energy, or our vibration calls forth this energetic match and then recreates the same energy in the form of how we live and what we experience. So of course, if I'm feeling down and blue because my energy is off, perhaps that's going to permeate through everything else in my life. Probably not the best time to make decisions. However, if that's a resounding theme in your life, maybe it's time to shift your perspective. Maybe it's time to experience something new. How can you do that? Well, beyond using your My Daily Drive and doing reflection and meditation and exercising, the simplest way for me last week was just to get outside and breathe some fresh air. If you need a change in your life or a change of point of view, how can you shift that perception? Where can you change a habit? Often it's habits that form those beliefs that keep us on that hamster wheel. So if you're really trying to move towards that goal, you have to kind of think about what can you release. It's always about releasing which doesn't serve you. It's about thinking about what you've been putting off and then taking one positive step towards that actionable item or that goal. That could be as simple as I'm going to give myself today off, I'm going to rest, and tomorrow I'm going to write that blog. I'm going to make that phone call. I'm going to call that client that I haven't connected with. I'm going to spend some time with my loved ones. I'm going to make time for things that aren't normally in my wheelhouse. And those small shifts can assist you in shifting your perspective because again, it's your perception that's your reality. So what you perceive, you believe. And of course, what you believe, you receive. I like to start my day with a 9-minute active meditation where I steer my thoughts. I steer my thoughts before I come on the show. I kind of envision what I want the show to look like, how successful I want it to be, and I give thanks that hopefully I've impacted you, the viewer, in a positive way. That's the tip in the Mindful Minute here on the Daily Drive. We're going to be back with an incredible guest who's pioneering reducing the achievement gap here in the state of Connecticut. I can't wait for you to meet him. We'll be right back. It's The Drive, how you fuel your mind, your body, your spirit that creates your life. We're so glad you fuel it here on Tuesdays with The Drive. Thanks. We'll be right back.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you know heart attacks and strokes are the leading cause of death in America? Protect the health of you and your loved ones. Talk to a doctor about heart disease. Hi, I'm Dr. David Pazer with ProHealth Physicians, encouraging you to stay informed about health matters that affect you.
ProHealth Physicians is on the pulse of social media to share information about health and nutrition with the community. Get up-to-the-minute alerts, including ProHealth Physicians news and upcoming events. Connecticut's leading group of primary care doctors is just a click away.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Pizza to satisfy even the most demanding critics. Wilton Pizza.
Family and Children's Aid has been serving the community since 1809 and is now the largest outpatient children's mental health care provider in Western Connecticut. Our innovative services include providing shelter to homeless moms and children, substance abuse intervention, mental health counseling, and foster and adoptive services, among others. Our goal is to provide individuals and families a safe haven and hope for a brighter future. Find out more about us at fcaweb.org and call our Danbury campus at 203-748-5689.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter, and I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office. I'm John
and Drive. You've come to the right place here on the HN Network every Tuesday with Denise DiGrigoli. Listen, we have got an incredible guest today, JP Hernandez from American Dream Clean. Welcome to the show.
So great to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We had met at a conscious capitalism panel at UConn.
Yeah.
And I love the tenets of conscious capitalism. Of course, our friend Larry Bigeman, our mutual friend, the CEO of the Water Authority in New Haven, kind of connected us to that group that he's pioneering.
Right.
And what I wanted to tell the audience is you are pioneering not only conscious capitalism within your own organization, you've really used a socially conscious model, as my email said to our viewers, to pay for your employees' kids' education.
Right.
Reducing what we call an achievement gap, which is really at high numbers here in Connecticut.
That's right.
Okay, so tell us about American Dream Clean and why you went with this socially conscious business model. We need to know.
Yeah. So thanks for that, and great question. Just stepping back a little bit, I would say that for me, I've always had a need to seek sort of meaningful work, and it's been a bit of a puzzle to sort of figure out exactly what that would be over time. And I found myself, this is going on probably north of a decade ago now, really struggling with, some of the hard, intractable social problems we have, and realizing that I wanted to have an impact there, and really thinking about where I could, sort of do that with highest and greatest effect. And what I saw, probably starting around that time was sort of this growing movement in which we were fusing the best of what sort of what we would think of traditionally as companies would do with what we would traditionally think of as sort of nonprofits doing. That it was sort of this 1 + 1 = 3 combination where you could get the best of the strengths of each model while also maybe canceling out some of the weaknesses. That was very new at that time, but I found myself as my career progressed and time progressed, sort of rolling around in those sorts of possibilities. Where might there be sort of this simpatico combination between business and mission? And ultimately stumbled upon the insight around American Dream Clean because I saw, as you alluded to with the achievement gap. My gosh, we have so many folks that who want to provide a better life for their children, but see a number of obstacles in terms of holding back a good education and a path to career for their kids. At the same time as I realized that there were certain businesses that really suffer from being unable to attract great people, really retain people, and give them a reason to stick around and ultimately drive the results of the business.
Well, that's kind of a universal problem for all of us that are entrepreneurs and big business, right?
That's right.
Finding good people, retaining good people.
Of course.
And you've kind of got the secret sauce in there.
I hope
because
so.
the way to people's hearts are their children. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Now, were you raised by do-gooders? Like, what made you so driven to be socially aware and want to make an impact? Like, what's the background?
I wish I had a straightforward, clean answer to this. I don't. There are probably certain things that if I sort of trace my biography, I can point to and say that was probably helpful here or there.
Well, you worked at Bridgewater, one of the biggest hedge funds in the country.
Yeah.
So you were exposed to all levels of business and people within that organization. Yeah. Maybe something there touched down and.
I think by the time I got to Bridgewater was really, when I went to Bridgewater, I was 25 years old, and I didn't think I was the next Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, that I should be starting a company right from my dorm room or something. I felt like I needed high quality preparation in order to go seek the kind of meaningful work that I was describing.
So you actually put some building blocks in place for your career.
I'd say so. And Bridgewater is fabulous in that regard. Not that we could spend a lot of time on Bridgewater, but for me, the fundamentals there were, the young people were running things, so I knew I'd get a ton of responsibility. And I also knew at the same time that it was a place where there were a lot of smart people. They'd challenge you. They'd help you sort of figure out what you were made of. All of that I really felt was going to be essential preparation for American Dream Clean. But coming back to something you said earlier about, where in the biography did you sort of, get the motivation for, for this particular social problem that we're after?
Yeah, because you're laser focused in on a problem, which is great.
Yeah. So I'd say again, I don't have a super easy answer to this. I do think it was helpful that I lived abroad when I was younger, and got a bit of a sense for how difficult things are. That it just opened my eyes to any number of problems. And I think that was beneficial. I think once I got to college, I also found myself immersed in like I dabbled. I did. If you know Teach for America, I did sort of a similar sort of program over the summer that allowed me to dabble in teaching, and so I had these little data points from my background early on that let me know that this was exciting work for me, but I also knew that I felt like there was probably another way to get at the problem than maybe the conventional approaches, if that makes sense.
So you have American Dream Clean, and that business in itself has its inherent problems, right? Because keeping people, retaining people, and then having them do the American Dream Clean brand worth of quality, I'm sure, as we've discussed before, is something you've got to focus on. And so what you've done, if I understand it correctly, is you get a commitment from the employees by giving a commitment to their children.
Precisely.
And what I read online was that for every child that's college educated, over the course of their lifetime, they have the opportunity to make $1 million more than a child that isn't. Of course, there's many factors, how motivated the child is and so on. I did go onto your YouTube channel, and you guys should really check it out. There is probably like a 3-minute video of a mother-daughter story that's so compelling.
Thank you.
How the mother is telling her story about how important it is for her daughter to be whoever she wants to be.
That's right.
And she's providing that vehicle. And really, on the heels of Mother's Day, what mother doesn't feel that way? What can I provide to you to be the best that you can be? So is it working?
Yeah, I'd say so. I want to be humble in some of these, pronouncements. On the business side, it's pretty clear, right? Once we win clients, they're happy with us. They see that the quality of the work we do is really high.
Do you tell them what you're doing socially for your people?
Yeah, we certainly do. I think both because, from a customer's perspective, I think there are a few things to keep in mind. One is, once you understand our model, you understand that probably we're going to outperform conventional cleaning. That mission-driven cleaning is sort of like just a better technology for producing great quality cleaning. We can get into why that is, but once they understand that insight, I think they're pretty hooked. But beyond that, a lot of our customers are organizations that themselves want their decisions to be a reflection of their own values, and so I think for them it's a meaningful thing to be able to say that, hey, every time JP is able to hire a new cleaner. That's more families, that's more people that are getting supported and hopefully pathways to college and career.
So that is true. I mean, we are seeing companies and consumers that want to do business with more like-minded, socially minded, social value-oriented people and companies, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing that in all branding and marketing going on now worldwide.
Yeah.
So talk about how was it Dream Clean first and conscious capitalism, or did you know about conscious capitalism and build your business around those tenets? And tell us what they are.
Yeah, okay, so there are a few questions in there. I would say that probably the insights around American Dream Clean came before connecting to conscious capitalism. There are, I mean, I don't want to sort of get us too much into like wonky theory and so on, but there are a lot of different names by which kind of socially minded business goes by, right? If you check out Michael Porter, who's I think a fabulous thinker, he's got a wonderful YouTube TED Talk that lays out his thinking around what might be called stakeholder orientation. There's sort of the social enterprise movement and B corporations, and so they're all sort of in the same basic ballpark, realizing that that the conventional wisdom that okay, if business, it's sort of the Milton Friedman perspective that, look, business's only objective is to maximize stakeholder value. That actually that's sort of a bad way to look at it. That in fact, there's really no trade-off between thinking about your stakeholders holistically and the bottom line.
Right.
That you can, surprisingly, you can have your cake and eat it too. There's actually a wonderful book that goes into the analytics around this called Firms of Endearment, if anybody wants to check that out. And you'll see that these companies that have woven purpose into how they operate actually do better than conventional companies.
And when I was working on the panel research with Larry, it was like they outperform by...
It's radical.
It's radical outperformance.
Not even close. Yeah, not even
if
close.
you stick with it. I think the trick is you have to, first of all, subscribe to this kind of value-driven leadership, and then you've got to bring it up and bring it down throughout the organization, and it can't ever not be part of the rhetoric or part of the branding.
That's right.
And so you have to sort of get everyone to buy in.
Yeah.
So what do you do as a business owner to get people to buy in? Because, cleaning companies would probably be the least that we would expect, right? We imagine that Whole Foods is going to do it, or Trader Joe's is going to do it, or the CEO of REI. I mean, those are perceived holistic businesses, right? So, and then the giants that started this kind of movement.
Yeah.
But we practice conscious capitalism in our business, and I know you do. So, what do you do to kind of broach that, especially with people that probably have never heard of it?
Yeah. So great question. I do want to speak for a second just on the literals of what we're doing to support our families. Maybe that'll make the answer richer. So the first thing we're doing, first of all, is we give people jobs, right? We have employees, and we try to create good job experiences for them where they're doing commercial cleaning. And we try to make that a rich and rewarding experience. At the same time, we really try to enrich that by providing a handful of resources that can help their kids stay on track for college and career. So that's tutoring, that's mentoring, that's guidance on good schools, and ultimately sort of trying to produce the kind of self-sufficiency and habits that our parents are going to need in order to fulfill their education dreams for their kids. And And so I say that just to orient a little bit to your question.
So they know when they're coming on board
Yeah.
in advance that you're probably going to help their children.
And that becomes, I mean,
Is that a recruiting tool?
well, we're sorting each other out, right? Meaning I'm communicating to them that this is more than a job. This is a meaningful journey. Do you want to go on this journey together? Some people are going to say, no, I just want a job, and this is interesting, but no thanks, and that's fine.
Right.
But
Weeding them out.
yeah, exactly right. It's a good relationship. Is one where we understand each other and our goals are overlapping, and so so once we sort of begin that discussion at the recruiting stages, look, all this moves at the speed of trust, right? I get to know families, and I get to know all the things that are great about families, but also all the things that are maybe their struggles and their challenges. So all that takes really getting to know that we are who we say we are. That
transparent authenticity.
All that, and you don't know that at the beginning of the journey. So
Any
we'll start.
relationship.
Yeah, exactly. So you start small. Would you consider having a tutor for your children? Well, that sounds okay. Yeah, why not? And then as you see that that's delivering, and as you see that that's a good thing, then we can sort of broach other areas that where we might be able to offer support. So we build that relationship again as rapidly as the trust, the mutual trust allows for, and then the payoff to us as an organization is, I think, twofold. One is it's just such rewarding work to to be able to make that difference for families. But then the other side is, frankly, it leads to a much better. It is very hard to beat me if you're my competitor. Meaning, how are you going to get people that are going to work harder and care more and be more in it than my people are going to be? I don't think you can do it.
So for the CEOs out there that are thinking, wow, I don't want to spend any extra money on
Right.
this, you're actually saying, I'm not losing any money. I'm profiting in numerous ways,
Right.
beyond, of course, financial, right? Because my people are sticking around, my clients are happy,
Right.
everybody's contributing, and everybody's winning.
Right.
It's pretty awesome.
Right. That's actually a nice tie-in to, you talked about conscious capitalism, right? I mean, that's a little bit what one of the tenets of conscious capitalism is, to think not about making decisions that benefit any one shareholder at the expense of another, any stakeholder, excuse me. And we do really try to think win-win. We try to think about what are the kinds of things we can do as a business that really allow everybody to benefit.
Probably leads to more retention, referrals, clients that pay their bills on time because they're thrilled, right?
I hope so, yeah.
So if we were going to ask you, what does the American Dream Clean look like as it moves forward with, to me, conscious capitalism is old-fashioned business.
Yeah.
We split the pie, everybody benefits,
Yeah.
everybody gets paid to do a good job and better, and we just service the heck out of our clients and in our community,
Yeah.
right? It's pretty,
Yeah.
and it's fabulously packaged in our chapter,
Yeah.
but I think those of us that were kind of raised in old school business maybe grew up in that.
Sure.
So when you cast the wider net, how are you growing this so that you grow your business? Because I'm sure you started in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
What's next on the horizon?
Yeah. Okay. Let me straighten me out if I'm not hitting your question right on the head. But I would say that in terms of the growth of the business, we do a lot of things to try to grow it. I'd say that the thing that's been most successful for us is doing what we're doing in a conversation like this. Really leading with our why. What is the reason that American Dream Clean exists? And I think that's really drawn other like-minded and terrific organizations to work with us. So if I could, I hope they don't mind me name dropping and giving them a shout out. But we work with organizations like the Connecticut Food Bank, you mentioned Regional Water Authority, University of New Haven. These are all, and I could go on, these are all organizations that I think are just fabulous organizations in their own right, but they look at what we're doing and they say, I want to go there. That's, again, it's an extension of their own values. So that's really been kind of, what we've been doing to really get the momentum as we started, as you said, in 2014, and no track record, no nothing. So how do you,
You just came out of the box with a brand new business?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have like some rock and roll business mentor or business plan? Like, what did you? I think we're going to hold that for the break.
Yeah, maybe,
actually,
maybe.
We're going to come back and talk about what it takes to start up a business cold turkey and make it successful. You know, as we say, there's no overnight successes. They normally take 25 years, but you've kind of beaten those odds.
Let's hope
right?
so. Thanks. Yeah.
Listen, we're going to be right back, everybody. It's Denise DiGrigoli live here on the HN Network every Tuesday. We believe it's how you fuel your mind, your body, your spirit that creates the lifestyle you live. Fuel it here with us every Tuesday, and if you like it, share it. We'll be right back.
Part of banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
The new fishing season is fast approaching, so it's time to head over to the dock shop and get your gear in order. We're now offering bait in both Darien and our Westport location. The dock shop can service and repair your rods and reels, spool up new line, and fill any empty space you might have in your tackle box. Whether you're a fisherman, boater, or beach bum, the dock shop is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Spring has sprung at Walter Stewart's Market, and we're celebrating the new season with fresh take spring. From the finest produce around to guaranteed fresh seafood delivered daily by the best local supplier. Not only are we your time-saving one-stop shop for everything you need this season, our personable team is always ready with a helping hand. Shop Stewart's for the best of spring. Find us at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com. At Worcester School, we believe summer is a time for kids to be kids. We provide the safe and nurturing environment for them to find activities that match their interests and allow them to create lasting friendships. Summer at Worcester offers 7 weekly sessions at our Danbury campus from Monday, June 26th through Friday, August 11th for pre-K to grade 8. Find out more about our extended hours, new optional lunch program, and a new low price at summer@worcester.org or 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference.
Wild Birds Unlimited, your one-stop shop for all your backyard bird hobby needs. Premium bird seed, freshly delivered each week. A great selection of bird feeders, houses, a patented pole system, bird baths, and a vast array of wonderful gifts of whimsy and nature. Visit us at 356 Heights Road in Darien, next to the post office and across from Norotan Heights Railroad Station. Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
Did you ever hear that old saying, you can't be a success until you make someone else a success? That's one of my favorite quotes. And here on The Drive, we seek to connect you with people, places, ideas, and organizations that do just that. And JP Hernandez of American Dream Clean has been sharing his business, which is social purpose. He actually pays for his employees' children to go to college or get tutoring or whatever they need to close that achievement gap here in Connecticut. And by doing that, we know that people that feel like they can provide that level of service to their children really feel empowered, therefore probably do a better job for you.
Right.
But beyond that, you are taking children to the next level, right? You're creating a better place for them in the world, ultimately in the long run. So I think that's fabulous, but let's talk about the brass tacks of starting a business.
Sure.
And what it takes to have that great vision, to be that social leader, but then really to put it into place.
Yeah.
How did this come about?
Oh gosh, you ask great questions, but they're big questions. So I'm
Everything is
best.
big on the
Yeah.
drive.
I do think that it was really helpful that I spent some time at Bridgewater. I mentioned this earlier in the discussion. Again, that was a place where a young person could get a lot of experience, and it's not exactly the same as starting something from scratch, but really there was an entrepreneurial mindset there. You were running things, and so there's just no substitute for having great experience. And having a lot of feedback around you to make sure that that's possible. That's also an environment where there's been a very deliberate effort to write down what does it mean to do great management. And so I was always in this position where I could come back and reflect on how was I running things and how would that compare relative to a way of thinking and operating about how to do great management. So just that constant reflection, I think, was also invaluable.
I want to just interrupt for a second. What do you think an entrepreneurial mindset looks like? 3 key things.
3 key. Well, it's hard to overstate how important determination is. Just the ability to just keep going, no matter how tough it is. Because when you're starting with nothing, you can expect a lot of setbacks and to be, feeling like you're working really hard, but maybe not feeling like you're producing a ton of traction right away. People who are going to get discouraged by that, rather than use it as able to sort of use that as fuel to say, look, I know I'll be successful because I'll just keep going. There's just no quit. That's a
lot of tenacity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I can't overstate how valuable that is. It was helpful for me, I think. Also, we had I believe a winning idea, and so that doesn't necessarily have to come from you. Some people have more of that creativity, and they can generate that themselves, or they may need to get it from others. But you do need to have an idea that makes sense. That there's something that you can build on. You talk about how you would sift and sort through whether something actually is a good idea or not. But that really is a second fundamental thing. And then I think the third thing as an entrepreneur is the humility to say, every day, even now, with a few, some years of track record behind me, there are so many things that one encounters where you're just not the expert.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna not have the humility to say, I don't know, and to recognize that you don't know, and rather than sort of foolishly try to just do your best based on who knows what, but to say I honestly don't know, and to use that humility to recognize what you don't know and to seek out others who really do have that perspective and can fill in what you're missing. That really raises the probability of making good decisions and keeps you safe.
Okay, so when you started American Dream Clean, how much time did it take you to develop it?
I didn't, I think some entrepreneurs probably have like an aha moment that they can point to. This specific thing was like, the light bulb or something.
You didn't have any epiphany.
I had again, this was more like a 10-year marinating between the time I sort of left college, was wrestling with what would meaningful work look like for me, seeing that there was this fomenting movement around, socially conscious business, but really just sort of rolling around in different possibilities, different combinations. How could I take a business? How could I take a mission, put them together? So there wasn't any one aha. It was more the steady accumulation of small insights that ultimately led to putting it all together in a package, if that makes sense.
So 3 years later, what's been the biggest trial or tribulation?
I love what I do. It's very rare that I'll wake up sort of bummed out or anything like that. And we've been fortunate that we haven't had anything. I mean, we maybe dent the car, but we've certainly not done anything that's crashed the car. So we're fortunate in that way. So, if there's a struggle in there, it's. I'm lucky that I have a wife who's like a million times smarter than me, so I can, that's really a great thing. But it also means that I need to achieve some balance, in my life, and that is maybe the ongoing thing that is a very hard struggle.
Right. Well, that's an entrepreneurial's everyday.
Yeah.
How do I balance?
Yeah.
How do I balance? So how do you balance? We talked a little off camera that you meditate. Tell me about that.
Yeah, and I heard you talking about meditation. I heard you talking about some other things earlier on in the segment that certainly hit home for me. look, I talked about determination, how important that is, and my nature is to just, I'll work really very hard at something, but I also realize that has a toll, and so meditation has been very helpful for me.
Do you meditate every day?
I wish my goal is usually to do either to meditate or to exercise on any given day.
Okay, so you're kind of alternating.
Yeah. And if the time is available, or if I'm clever enough to find a way, I'll do both each day.
So what are the benefits? Tell me some benefits, because when we talk about this on the show, people are like, oh no, she's telling us to meditate again, or write it down. But then I have social proof right here, sitting down next to me.
Yeah.
So what is it? Does it give you clarity?
Well,
is it some weird woo-woo thing?
No, it's definitely not some weird woo-woo thing. It's a very practical thing, right? As a business owner, there are a lot of stressors coming at you, and if you're going to allow those stressors to overwhelm you, it's going to deteriorate the quality of your work, deteriorate the quality of your decision making, and you'll pay a real price. So you need something to help you manage that, and meditation, both meditation and exercise have been great for it. But I'll talk to meditation first. What I like about meditation is, first of all, it's like a gift to me every time I do it, right? That I get this 20 minutes where it's like, I say it's like being on a beach and just totally tranquil, totally serene. It's that kind of feeling. So on the one hand, the experience is really joyful, but at the same time, it creates clarity, it creates centeredness. I think there's good evidence around this now that suggests that these things aren't just
statistics.
Yeah, that it's not just people it's not some new agey thing. That there's a body of evidence that says no, all those things that we just enumerated are real, and potentially even things around enhancing creativity. So all of that is a very practical thing for a business owner. Did somebody teach you that?
Like, where did you stumble on that? Is this a college thing?
That's another Bridgewater thing. I was one of these macho guys who did my best to ignore the body of evidence for a while, but Bridgewater made it a resource, and after enough times of hearing, just again, it's not a new age thing. There's a lot of evidence that says that this stuff really is very powerful. I eventually took it up, and it's been a habit ever since.
So that's probably the way that you clear your mind, and through exercise.
Yeah.
And I want to just, before we close, I want to give everyone your website just in case they're interested, which is
AmericanDreamClean.com.
Very simple. Keyword it. You'll find it. And if you were going to, give a plug out to the Conscious Capitalism organization that you belong to, what would you say? Why would you suggest that people join it? What's the biggest benefit?
Well, for me, it's been great in that you might think that you're on an island, right? That you're one of the few people in your neck of the woods who's thinking about how business can make a difference and so on. And it turns out there are a lot of very like-minded folks out there. So the Conscious Capitalism chapter has done a really wonderful job of being an aggregator, of getting those sorts of folks together, having sort of very wonderful discussions around conscious business. So I've gotten a tremendous amount out of it, and would recommend it to anyone.
So when we ask you to come back in a year, where can we expect to see you your business to have soared to? Anything you want to throw out the magic wand?
No, the only speculation I would offer, and I don't know, it's in a year. It may be a little longer, but
Are you running the J.P. Hernandez School of Achievement?
No, I think more likely what I would love to do is convince traditional commercial cleaners that this is like a better technology. It's like the difference between a cell phone and a rotary phone or something like that. That it's just
so this methodology
plain
works.
Jane better. And so over time, my aspiration would be for conventional cleaners to say, boy, if we can't beat them, join them. That they will themselves start to adopt these sorts of practices, and they'll try to compete against me on the basis of, hey, we're the better mission-driven cleaner,
or
something.
Maybe a franchise is in your future.
Yeah, something like that.
You want to share one quick story about the child you impacted the most over the past few years?
Well, for folks who haven't seen it, check out the video. It's on our website. It's on YouTube. You mentioned it earlier, and
fabulous.
I think the story around Tai Chi and Kiki, her daughter Kiki, is a really touching story. You know, more recently, we've been working with the family of 4. Tim Sanchez, if I can mention his name, and Tim's fabulous. He's 2 biological kids of his own, but he's also adopted 2 that are from family members who have been sort of wrapped up in the opioid crisis. So there's been, you know, sort of a really tough starting point there. I think Tim would concede this, and a lot of it is frankly on Tim and what he and his family have done to support, you know, his kids. But they've really gravitated to what we've been able to do in terms of, especially around tutoring and mentoring and building sort of great relationships there. His kids are doing fabulously. We just looked at report cards and are saying, wow, you know, it's sort of mind blowing the progress they're making. When I reach out and get to talk to the, you know, to the tutors about the experiences they're having, I mean, it's like, you know, it's really heartwarming what you see in terms of the bonds that they're building in addition to the impact they're having.
That's incredible. Well, you've made the world a better place, and I'm so thankful you shared it here on The Drive. I hope that you'll join us back next year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, JP Hernandez of American Dream Clean. All right, everybody, that went by real fast. If you want to change your perception, you've got to shift the way you look at things. If you like The Drive, please share it. Follow us on Twitter, of course, Facebook, Instagram. It's Denise DiGrigoli here, live on the HAN Network. How you fuel your mind, your body, your spirit will create the life you live. Fuel it well, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah.